Welcome to the Hoppothetically podcast with Nikki Downtown and Fat Nate. We provide thoughtful and correct answers to probably the most important questions in the world. I'm a New York City-based comedian. Nathan is a New York City-based dyslexic. Thank you so much for being here. We hope you enjoy the show. All right, welcome back. Hypothetically, episode 29. We are here at our grandma's house. She is asleep, right?
We're in the Old West.
She's asleep behind this. And if we're funny enough, she'll pop out. Our grandma is where we learned all of our riffing from.
Sure. I thought we were going to do
she
an
would
Old West.
be so disappointed in you right now, Nathan.
I thought we were going to do an Old West thing, but...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my name is Cowboy Pete.
I'll let you know what your name is in a minute.
It's Cowboy Pete, episode 28.
It's episode 29 with Wrangler Nick and Fat Nate.
Damn it. You could have done anything else. You're wearing like the little boy cowboy hat. Like you're my trainee.
You're my cow. That's not a good riff. Grandma's not coming out for that one. Mm-mm. My hat's not on anymore.
No, it's not.
You know, the hardest part about being a cowboy was keeping your cowboy hat on. Mm. That's why they called it the Wild West, because their fucking hats were all over the place. People would see them and they'd drop their hat and it'd be wild.
Yeah. You would shoot them. If their hat fell off, they were a Native American and you shot them.
Mm-hmm. That's what tumbleweeds is, a bunch of hats.
Yeah.
It's because all the old drawings of the tumbleweeds have gotten smudgy, so they look like circles but they were hats. They were cowboy hats that would just blow from town to town.
I like to think that the artist back then just didn't know how to draw hats.
He just thought that's what he just drew circles.
Yeah, he was just like, this is a perfect hat. And other people were like, I think that's a squiggly circle. He's like, no, that's what hats look like.
That's a hat. Hats are from the top. That's a hat.
Yeah. Because you know how like artists will have like, some people will be like, oh, I have a lot of trouble drawing hands. Just that guy just sucked ass at drawing hats.
The whole rest of this of the town is like perfect. There's a great saloon.
Yeah. Could you imagine him
and hands? He drew hands.
Yeah, perfectly. Can you imagine in art school he practices all the mountains and all the people and the animals, and then he gets out there and he's just like, oh, what the fuck is that?
It's all hats. and then he's like, everyone wears these things?
I don't like how much thigh you show in person. I didn't realize that's what you did.
This is less thigh than I have.
This is a lot
Zoom.
of, you're showing me basically a side of your thigh. It's just a lot. We've never met in person, by the
way. There's brothers, then there's stepbrothers, then there's Zoom brothers.
Yeah.
This week's episode is brought to you by male thighs. Male thighs. You see them, and you try not to imagine what they'd be like as a lady thigh, but you do. You're not gay, though. Male thighs. That should be the male thighs. You're not gay. You're not gay. Oh, my head fell off again.
The ad is clearly a gay man trying to trick straight men.
I think that's how I feel about male thighs. Because they look identical. You see them, and you're like, that's not bad. And then you're like, but I'm... That's my reservation about male thighs. It's am I gay?
You see male...
But if they just had an ad that was like, no, you're not gay.
I'm worried...
Just enjoy them.
I'm worried that's going to... Next step is like, male penises. Like, you're not gay. It looks exactly like a lady penis.
We should have had that little Civil War fellow.
Oh, my God. Grab him.
No. This is the set. There would be a discontinuity. Because I cut it so much, he'll just appear and people will be like, there's a ghost on set.
We should do it every other question.
What if we establish as a character for the podcast that there is a ghost and only we can hear him? There's a ghost. I'm going to cut that last thing when I propose.
Why are you saying you're going to cut it?
There's a ghost on set and only I can hear him and Nathan can't hear him.
And he's an old coal miner.
Nope. That's just what Nathan wants, but only I know what he is.
What is?
He's a young coal miner.
Look at where we are. He's clearly an old coal miner.
No, he's getting into it.
He uses cough syrup instead of regular syrup on his fucking pancakes because he's too hardcore. I saw this in an old Western movie.
Really?
Yeah. It was a Western movie about...
Did he have a cough?
No. He ran out of syrup, so he started using cough syrup because he just needed those pancakes not to be dry.
What if he just didn't like how cough syrup tastes? Like, you know how people will take pills in applesauce? I only I bring me a whole plate of pancakes. That's how I take my medicine.
Any medicine? Even like suppositories? He's like, you can put it in my butt, but give me a whole plate.
You put pancakes in my butt first.
That's what... He would eat the pancakes to distract him, but you would jam pancakes into his butt.
Because pancakes are fluffy soft. You put those pancakes in my butt, or else I'm not taking the medicine. Remember in Toy Story 2, there's the old prospector? and he's not racist and stuff.
Yeah, that was.
What if that was why he? You know how he wants Woody to get together with Jesse? It's because he thinks Jesse's gonna be a lesbonian.
Oh, I thought it was because Jesse was going to date a black guy.
I don't think there were black Woody toys.
That's kind of fucked up.
Maybe Jesse was having sex with the horse. I'm not proud of that. We're talking about Jesse having sex with the horse. It's just like, what's what we're talking about? Well, what if they have sex? We're better than that. What if Jesse was having a mature, romantic, but not sexual relationship?
Oh,
with the horse.
So
wait, no. What did the prospector want? He wanted them to just be a complete set.
it was a white thing.
This episode is brought to you by man thighs. Man thighs. Don't touch them.
I feel like this will get easier once we do a question.
This episode is brought to you by man thighs. They never get easier.
Or thinner. They stay thick. And one day they'll touch. And then when you walk, it will chafe.
What? All right. If there was a very attractive woman, she was in an accident, and they surgically replaced her woman thighs with man thighs.
I've already done this exact question with hands.
Yeah, but this is about today's sponsor. We need to make our money.
We
got to make money.
Podcast questions about thighs.
If you get man thighs, do you think the man starts to spread?
Yeah, I think it does. You just got to be careful because you got to make sure it spreads down. Spreading up is the problem because you don't want to be a man with lady calves.
I think I might want that.
Why would you want lady calves and feet?
Because it would be like a surprise. I would get to wear pants, and then when there was a lull in conversation, I would just casually like, what?
You're beautiful.
What? Also, I'd always be able to hail a taxi in the 20s. It was always like the woman when she wanted to like get a taxi, and remember in the cartoon she would show her ankle. That would be like now if a woman like just pulled out her tits to get a taxi. Like that wouldn't get you a taxi.
I think it's because back then taxi drivers, like when they looked at someone, they started ankle up.
Is the implication that taxi drivers like, oh, I'm going to pick this woman up and then fuck her? Taxi drivers were just like driving around like horny.
Yeah.
That's why old taxi drivers are all pissy because they're like, this fucking Uber, it used to not be about the money. Everyone just wants money now. We used to just find sexy ladies and then they wouldn't want to have sex with us and we'd drop them off way before their stop. It was awesome. We drop them off random places. Yeah. Do you think people ever just for practice would like show their ankles for the bus? But then people are like, you're at the bus stop. The bus is coming. You're like, no.
Could you imagine?
I made the bus come.
Could you imagine if you were at the bus stop and you were like, does anyone here have ankles? Please, everyone, we need to put our best foot forward here. Everyone show your ankles. We need to find the one that will get the bus to stop.
That's probably where that expression came from.
Yeah, yeah. Could you imagine?
Was women seducing taxis.
Yeah, could you imagine if you were at a bus stop with like 10 guys, like, I'll just walk to the next stop. We're not going to hail this bus at all.
Maybe back in the day, back in the 20s, the only way to get a taxi was to seduce them with your gorgeous ankles.
Yeah, maybe guys had really nice ankles back then too. Maybe just everybody did.
Yeah, it was your mode of transportation.
Cankles weren't going to fucking hail anything.
No.
We're not, don't be shapist. Bodyist? What's the...
I like shapist. Just like the worst. Don't be gross fattiest. That's not cool.
That sounds like a Greek guy that didn't like fatties.
Don't be moobist. Gross fattiest. It does sound like an ancient Greek philosopher.
Yeah, he really...
All of his philosophical theories are about whether or not you can eat certain foods with your hands or a fork. When at a party, one must... If there's cake but no fork, are you allowed to grab it? Just
from the center.
I was talking about this with a comic yesterday. What if you were at a party and there was cake and you cut it this way? You were just like, anyone want a piece of cake? They're like, yeah, I'll have one. And you just cut off the whole top. And they were like...
So you either get all frosting or no frosting. So
you give them all of it. And they're like, what the fuck happened to the cake? And you're like, I just had... Did you guys not have a piece yet? I was having my first piece. Are we on second? Like, I don't know.
Would you rather have that or someone just put their hand in the middle and pull out a chunk and drop it on your plate?
I think the hand in the middle seems drunk and the cutting it this way seems... That's a move.
Yeah, you are making a statement.
You're like, I want this party to burn.
Yeah. What if that's how the guy that invented cake intended you? He said everyone cutting the cake. He's like, what the fuck? No, you grab it from the center. This is how it tastes good.
Yeah, he thinks it's like a fruit where the core is the best.
The center is the best part. Yeah.
That could be a fun business. Cakes with like a pit that you can't eat. They're fresher. Like olives. Unpitted cakes.
But this market won't start like that. It will start with people buying it, thinking it's like I guess this is a weirdly expensive cake. I bet it tastes better. And then
we would sell it as whole cakes. We would have all right, our sponsor for this week, whole cakes.
They're called unpitted cakes.
Well, usually you'd say pitted olives and whole olives.
No,
So
okay.
we would also sell pitted cakes, so people would just see the distinction. But then we'd sell whole, and you would cut it, and it'd be like an avocado center, but it'd be like the size of a baseball.
So would the pitted cakes just be cakes that have like a weird slump in the middle?
But you would fill in the top. It'd be like an eclair. I think you could convince people that this was like a more organic cake. Like, oh, you didn't get the whole cake? You got the factory pitted cake?
But then we'd have to fake cake plants. We'd have to have farms where we grow cake. And we'd have to convince people that the pits are there for a reason. So we'd have to have tours.
You would just have these trees and like hang cakes off of the branches like ornaments.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, don't touch the cake tree.
Yeah, we'd have to be like, oh, this is where we're growing newer cakes, and they're just a bunch of little cupcakes.
You replace the cupcakes with the cakes.
Mm-hmm. We'd be spraying them with water for some reason. People would be like, it looked like we're just ruining a bunch of cakes. They're just like, we're like hosing them down.
They're just totally disintegrated because it's like a pretty powerful hose.
Yeah, we're putting fertilizer on them. Like, they're fucking disgusting.
I think that could be a business. If people would not obviously believe you, but if you really sold it and like just were committed to like, we grow cakes.
Yeah. There's one covered in dirt and fertilizer, and like, no, they're so fresh. You can just eat them right off the vine.
Eat them right off the vine.
We get one every time at the tour, at the middle of it. We're just like, no, try it right off. Eat it right off the vine. Yeah. Go grab it. Like, what does it taste like?
I mean, it tastes like it's a cake. Why is this all here? I think that would, sincerely, like, wouldn't that work as a business? If you just had every employee learn all these fake facts about how cake grows and like all these specific temperature requirements for the cake.
Yeah, you talk about how arid the climate needs to be for the cakes to happen.
Yeah, and they're like, is there any animal or insects that eats the cakes? You're like, all of them. It's really tough. We kill a ton of animals with harsh pesticides. Do you use pesticides on your cakes? Yes.
A ton of them.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, they're barely edible.
Did we say eat the cakes? I'm sorry. What we meant is don't eat the cakes.
Yeah.
Do you guys grow pies? You can't grow a pie, you fucking retard. What are you talking about? We strictly are cake.
We'd have to do it in California, though.
If it's not grown in California, it's called a sparkling pie. Only cakes from the cake region of California.
We buy a giant piece of land and call it cake so that we can do that cake region shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, what about this ice cream cake I bought from New Jersey? It's like,
that's a ice cream sparkling pie.
We do questions now.
Man thighs. You lick one, you got a hair in your tooth later. If you started a man's knee, you got to lick up or you got to lick down. Which way you go?
Down.
Really?
There's so much more man up.
Not all the way up, just to the waist. Up to the waist or down to the toes?
You didn't say that.
You going down?
You going down? You going up?
Yeah, well, I'm going up because I'm going to be miserable, but I want them to have
He
a
has
nice
all
time.
the power. He can swing his dick that way, and then you just lick up in a straight line. He controls.
Oh, you're getting his dick. I thought that was understood in the question.
Oh, I didn't. I thought it was, if he felt generous, merciful that day, you could just tuck the other way, and then you would just get thigh. It's the potential of getting the dick that it's scary. Not that you're guaranteed to get it, but that you could get it, and that he has all the control.
I would feel awkward if I was like, yeah, I licked up a man's thigh up to his waist, and they were like, so you sucked his dick? And I was like, no. And they're like, what? Why? You know how like crackheads are always like, in movies, they're always offering to suck people's dicks for crack? Mm-hmm. What if there was like a drug dealer who really didn't want his dick sucked by all these crackheads, but he feels like he's supposed to because that's like the culture? He's like, I really would prefer money, but I guess all right, suck my dick, I guess.
Yeah. If you were paid in dick sucks, do you think you would start to think that's how you pay for everything? You would go to the store and you would buy like some oatmeal and be like, okay, take it off. Come on. I got to pay for this.
Right. He's just like, I mean, it's, you would do the math on what crack costs. You're like, I should get like a lot of, like your cart is full of oatmeal because you're expecting a crack amount of oatmeal.
Mm-hmm. Just goes into a car dealership, massaging his jaw. Like,
there we go, getting a convertible. La, 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 la. And you know how car salesmen try to like haggle and stuff?
Yeah.
You're like sucking his dick, and he's like, all right, we can also throw in the
Bluetooth.
The Bluetooth on the radio, and you're like, All right. So there's the drug dealer who doesn't want to get his dick sucked, but he feels like he has to. And then he goes to another drug dealer and he's like, I had like 4 crackheads suck my dick yesterday. And the other guy's like, ew, what the fuck? And he's like, are we all doing that? Haven't you seen movies? He's like, no. Have you seen their mouths?
Yeah, they don't have teeth.
Oh my God.
Like, that part was actually kind of nice, but
Yeah. Are you gay? No, I'm not gay. Well, why are you doing that?
cultural.
Yeah, it's our
It's our culture.
I'm a drug dealer who sells crack. That's part of the
culture, yeah. It's the culture of crack dealing.
No, it isn't.
It's been passed down for generations. My dad got his dick sucked by crackheads. I get my dick sucked by crackheads.
Or maybe sort of like what you were saying earlier, there was like a sitcom writer who couldn't afford crack, and he was like, let's get it going that you can pay for crack with dick sucks.
What do you think the first crackhead to try to offer dick sucking? What do you think that was like?
I think he was like a before his time kind of guy. He's sitting there like, they called me crazy. First they laughed at me. then they were mad at me. Then they accepted me.
Then they came.
Game changer.
Yeah, it was weird that I was sucking their dick and they were angry, but you just had to suck through it.
All the other crackheads at first were like, it'll never work. You're crazy.
Yeah.
You're crazy. Don't follow your dream. Go back to your day job. And he's like, no, I'm going to do it.
In this world, was being a crack addict like
In this, I'm saying Steve Jobs is a crackhead.
Okay.
Who sucks people's dick.
That's what the turtlenecks were for?
What is that? It's like a slant rhyme. That almost felt like it made sense.
Yeah.
Explain. If you're wearing a turtleneck, you think you can like get more dick in your neck?
Yeah.
It like keeps it in.
It strengthens. No, it like strengthens your neck. You have more neck support. You can suck dick
Whereas
better.
if you didn't have it, the dick would like poke through your neck.
No, it's just your neck would get, after all the dicks you're sucking, your neck would get weak and flabby and you'd start to turn.
You'd fall over on your...
like a baby.
That should be we should do like a inspirational, like a Rocky type movie of a guy who's trying to get
crack
dick sucking for crack going, and it just won't work. And he keeps going to VCs to like invest in blowjobs for crack, and they're like, we just don't see it.
There's a montage of him just sucking dick, not for crack, just to practice.
This movie would be mostly porn. It would be all porn and like a Star Wars style like text on the screen explaining, and then just dick sucking.
Yeah, and then the end of the movie, the big final thing is he does crack and he dies. Yeah, it's just
a tragedy.
Yeah, the end is him dead in an alley, and then Morgan Freeman voices over how he changed the crack game for everyone.
You know, at the end of the movies where it'll be like a slow motion montage of them doing stuff with what they did in the future. Just every character is just like disgusting sucking a dick. You know, Steve started a family, but then fell back into old habits and abandoned his family. And he's just. Maria went on to go to community college. She studied bioengineering. She's crying, like tears are coming down her cheeks.
Jesus.
Mascara.
Can I do my question?
Maybe, okay, wait.
Jesus
More
Christ.
on the guy who invents. So there's like a Steve Jobs who's the idea guy behind sucking dicks, but then there's the
a
Wozniak who's like in the weeds, like you massage their balls like this, and you like. And there's all these different iterations of sucking dick that came out, and the first one wasn't very popular.
They did it hamburger style.
Right.
They tried to fit the whole dick.
Yeah, this is called the blowjob 2.
They did it like a corn
on the cob. Yeah.
They get to like the 7 and it's just really sleek.
The Wozniak guy's like, what if we added a stylus to the blowjob? And the Steve Jobs like, no stylus. You have 5 fingers right here. That's from the movie.
You know what like who Shazam is, right?
Yes.
Okay, you have Shazam powers, but the only difference is the turning in from a little boy to an adult man takes 10 minutes and is full puberty.
You go through it.
Yeah, the whole process of puberty. And it hurts a lot. You can tell it's very painful.
He's like crying.
He's like, no. Yes.
He has like an angsty phase. Shazam! And he's looking at the villain like, you're such a fucking poser.
Yeah, I don't even want to be Shazam, and then he does it again, and he's just turning back into a little boy. He's like, why did I do that?
Every time he gets to like 16, he's like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Superheroes are lame. Shazam! And then he goes back.
It just regresses.
I'm horny, but I'm getting less horny, but I'm still pretty horny.
Yeah. I think I would try to get sympathy from the villains. I'd be like, I'll Shazam. And they're like, please, it's really disgusting to watch. I would threaten people with the idea of me going through all of puberty in front of someone.
You know what I never understood about Shazam is why do you always yell it? That'd be so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Why wasn't he just like, Shazam?
What if they're just like, the god's like, we can't, what'd you say? Can you just, a little louder? Can you just pick it up?
Yeah, you just hear God. What?
What? Did you want a Shazam?
And he's like embarrassed. Like, come on. There's only one thing I ever say to you. What else do you think I was saying? Hey?
What if every time just we only heard the loud Shazam, but he actually does like the penis game where he's like, Shazam.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out where. Shazam.
Shazam?
Shazam?
Just Shazam gets all the Jewish powers.
What?
Cut that. Cut all of it.
What if instead of you grow slowly, different body parts grew at different... Like, everything hits 35, but it's like 35. 35.
Oh my god, dude! The problem is if the chest comes in before the legs, you're gonna like stumble
you
and
start bleeding and
wobble.
you're like-
Yeah, it's like you gave me all these powers. Why couldn't you just have it start at the lower half of my body?
Your head and brain go first, so you would know how to... You'd still be a kid, and the villain's trying to get you, and you're like, I'm a child. This is rape. Don't you assault me.
That's the wisdom of Solomon, right there.
That's the wisdom of Solomon. Yeah. Help! I can't find my parents. That's its own power. You look like a kid. You're like facing away from someone and they think you're a kid and you turn around with a man face and they're like, oh, it's Captain Marvel. That's his whole thing. Someone tries to rob a bank. Lay down on the ground, kid, or I'll shoot you. I'm a man. I have a man face. Oh, all right. God damn. What are you, Satan? Jesus. What if when Shazam gets better at his abilities, I don't know why you'd want this, but let's just say he gets it, he can just only have some parts of him get superhero and older, but not all of him.
Oh yeah, he has to pick body parts.
So he's just like, Shazam! It's like a man like a man hand.
I was gonna go a different direction.
I bet.
I was gonna say, what if
You thought I was gonna talk about his dick?
No, it wasn't.
Shazam! Right here, baby. It's a 10-year-old with
I don't
these
think
huge dad hands.
I think although it happens when he was 14, he would clearly Shazam his right hand for masturbation. But yeah.
You're saying when you were 14, if you could, you would make your... What is the fantasy there? You would make your hand a man's hand?
You get more grip. You can jerk off. You have the...
If you could do that now, if when you masturbated, you could make your hand...
You would have the strength of Hercules.
Solomon.
No, Solomon wasn't strong, asshole.
It's all Solomon.
You just become an old philosopher. No, dude, doesn't make any sense. What if...
Wait. When you were 14, you would make your hand look like a full-grown man's hand to masturbate with? You're like, nice.
Yeah,
this steaming, hairy hand.
Is it still hot from getting hit by lightning?
Yeah, hit by lightning.
That's when you do it. It's like warm bread on the mouth, dude.
Oh, it'd just be for the warmth?
Yeah.
It'd be like when you have freshly dried pants.
Yeah.
You're like, ah.
Yeah, nice toasty dick. I think you jerking off an adult man penis would clearly be worse than using an adult man hand to jerk off a boy penis.
I think you could... I don't think I would jerk off. I think I would just do funny hand stuff. I'd go... But with a big man hand. You know what? No. If I was going to shush someone, I would Shazam my lips. I'm 14. I got man lips. Stubble.
What if they're just more
Stubble.
What if they're just more chapped?
Yeah, is that your power? You can chap your lips? Your lips get struck by lightning and they're chapped? If the lightning just... Shazam.
You think it's a prank sometimes, because he got his powers from God. Do you think sometimes they just didn't turn him into Shazam? They just hit him with lightning?
And he just was like, ow.
Yeah, he just collapses. They just do it once in a while. Like, we got you.
You know what would actually be incredible? Mm-hmm. I don't know how you would do this. If you did get struck by lightning in real life and you were able to stay conscious, if you could say Shazam right after, that'd be so amazing.
You think the guy that got struck by lightning 9 times, because there was a guy that world record got struck by lightning times, you think like the 3rd or 4th time he was like, I bet I could say Shazam this time?
I'm sure people pitched it to him.
Yeah, or like with the power of Grayskull or whatever.
You know how Shazam's main enemy is Black Adam? Mm-hmm. But usually he's not black? What if that's because when he Shazams, he gets the brain of Solomon and the skin of Solomon.
Could you imagine after they gave him
Shazam? He's like, what the fuck?
Could you imagine being like, God, did you whitewash me with your powers? I'm like, we just thought people would like it.
We thought it would help.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What is that? I don't know.
Yeah. You'll get pulled over less when you're fighting crime.
He just tries one day. He's like, Shaquan, and nothing happens. And Solomon's like, I don't have one for that. I've never heard that name.
Yeah. This went through HR. We really thought people
He's
would
like, we just pick it
it.
at random. He's like, oh, really?
Yeah. No, we focus grouped it for months, and this is what people liked.
Who'd you ask? Just my friends. Oh, God.
Yeah. Dude, I have black friends. It would get there, right?
A lot of times Black Adam is like Russian for some reason.
Or
and he's
Egyptian
like
or
a
something.
young black teen who says Shazam and he becomes a 35-year-old Russian man. It's like, what is this? I think when they need a space accent, they go like Eastern Europe. Ukraine people sound like space people. They sound like they're from the moon.
Nick, it's your question.
Did you say the N-word? Say that sentence again.
It's your question.
Say the full sentence.
Nick, it is your question.
That's not how you said it. You said, Nick, it's your question.
I said, Nick, it's your question.
You said, Nick, it's your question.
Nick, it's your question.
A clip that.
We're not going to clip it.
Clip.